definitely pops and crackles more than mine. Oh my God, what have I done? I'm gonna want one of these. Hi guys, so here we are in the F-Type, but not my F-Type. So we are in the 5 litre V8 all-wheel drive. A massive thanks to Jaguar Thames Ditton and the guys there who have let me take this out to do a quick review on it. Wow, what a car. It's just so different. Let's have a quick look around, and I'm going to give you a bit more of a talk around it as well. It's just amazing. 550 brake horsepower versus the 380. Not going to throw loads of numbers at you. You can look that stuff online and look at the guys who do those kind of car reviews. This is great fun. I mean, it just makes the most incredible noise. I can't stop bloody smiling. It's so different to the V6, it really is. Whether that's because this is the coupe as well, but, you know, slightly stiffer chassis. Arguably, I've just driven down a bit of motorway. I think a slightly better ride. All-wheel drive, I'm not really pushing it that much to kind of find that out, but I'm sure that gives a little bit more stability. I know the 3 litre V6 is a little bit tail happy out of turnings, but this is just a very different car. I know I keep saying that. It really does feel like it. Love this panoramic roof, really kind of gives you that feel. You know, one of the big debates I've always been having is, should I have got the 5 litre V8 and should I have got a convertible? I love convertibles. I think they're great fun in the summer, and that was really like one of my #1 kind of things to tick off because it's something I've missed. Everybody says, you know, that is the F-Type a competitor for Porsche, for the 911? And everyone says, well, do you know what? It kind of sits in between the Cayman and the 911. Now, I've had a 911 and I've had lots of other cars. I can't get over that cracking and popping. It's freaking amazing. It's so much better than my 3 litre V6. There's going to be some conversations at home tonight, I think, once I get home from this. Anyway, back to my point. My initial impressions are actually the 3 litre V6, I'd say it's better than a Boxster. I've had a Boxster S, old one, probably not the new one. I've not driven that. So yes, that's a competitor, if not better than the Boxster S. Is it 911 material? I think it lacks something. It lacks that kind of like animal aggression. And the problem with the 911 actually is it just felt really raw with that flat 6. You're always slightly worried about that, you know, sort of engine hanging out over the bum, whether it was going to come back and bite you because of, you know, the way it's balanced. This, however, you don't know if you can hear those cracks and popples. I mean, I'm just driving along at like 30 miles an hour here. It's just amazing. This is a rival to the 911. It feels like it. It's got that raw power that when you put your foot down, you really feel the acceleration. You know, whereas and I can't keep my mind off those bangs and pops every time you decelerate. It's bang and popping. It's just, I know it's childish, like, you know, you don't need that, but God, you want it. That's very much for sure. This just makes you feel alive, this car. I mean, I think the V6 does as well, and it's great fun, don't get me wrong. And, you know, a car you don't own is probably always better than the one that you have. But this car, I want to say I feel like an angry teenager, but that's not right. Like, you don't feel that kind of like, it's not like you feel out of control like that. It is just great to drive.
One of the things that kind of bugs me is actually the spoiler on this. It looks a little bit small, and actually I think it looks a little bit untidy from here for such a beautiful car to have. I don't know, it just feels a little bit unthought after. And actually I followed one of these the other day, and one thing I did notice is this got really grubby under here. So let's have a look inside the tailgate. So we've got an electric tailgate here, which makes a bit of a difference. I mean, shouldn't sound, you know, it's a bit lazy, but actually very, very good. And I shouldn't sound so surprised, but wow, what an absolutely ginormous boot. And when you live with the size of boot that I've got in my car, this is, yeah, quite something. Or yeah, even the sort of cubby hole thing that I've got on mine under there. I've actually seen some people custom fit some bass speakers in those, but that is a really big boot. So very much the kind of GT car, a few anchor points to tie things down on. I have a small dog, so actually for me, I'd probably take this out and let the mutt sit in the back there and kind of enjoy the view, but probably mean he would yeah, make my rear window all mucky. But this is an awesome car. I've always liked the coupe. You know, for me actually, I preferred the coupe over the convertible when I first saw it, and just because I think the lines are absolutely amazing, and I've never been so enthused about a car's kind of visual appeal quite so much as when this came on the market. But as I've said before, the convertible is the original, and that is really kind of like, you know, how it was designed. But I can't help but think that this car is just, I mean, I'm kind of a bit lost for words. You know, I've not driven a lot of hypercars and supercars. It's got beautiful lines. Let's have another look around it. I think it looks amazing with these wheels. I think some of the all-wheel drive wheels are not that great. We've got the additional side skirts here as well down the side. Some of the things on here that I've talked about, which is less to do with this car but more to do with the feature package that we have on mine, is this has got power fold mirrors, reverse dip. I just think it's a beautiful car, but you know, it's a lot more money. This is a sort of, I think, with all the kit on, around about sort of 96, 97,000 pound car, and that really is in the running with the likes of the 911. I quite like this, the blacked out grills around the side, which are a bit different, slightly different bonnet louvers. I actually think mine are further up. I have to have a look at that when we get back. But I think overall, what a stunning car. And you know, I did love my 911, but I'd buy one of these instead every day. This is an amazing car, and then you get the bonus on it that people won't look at you like you're some rich banker who's gone and bought another 911 because you didn't know any better. And is that it's just some of the materials are just still a bit plasticky. So you know, I think like down here with the cup holders, obviously essential in any car, they're actually very good. It's just a bit plasticky. Everything else is so well made, and you know, there's the oh shit grab handle for the passenger, this kind of faux carbon stuff, which is definitely not carbon. Sorry, I'm not actually pointing at it. Again, looks fine, and the piano black. One thing I find in my car, because the roof's down all the time, it gets really dirty. I have talked about this before. The parking button, brake button is here, which when you've got the convertible, it's quite easy to mix them up and grab them while you're moving, which is less good. Like the glove box is great, but again, like the bottom of it, like it's got no weight in it. It's like, oh, it's just a shame, you know, just very little things like that. Overall, this is a phenomenal car. I'm surprised at how different it is. What's great is the sound of that exhaust as well. It just really is just a different step from the one mine makes a lot of pops and crackles, and I'm constantly changing gear, not because I have to, but because I want to, because you feel the sense of drama and theatre that this car brings to you. Part of this is personal, because I want a GT car, and actually this is a good GT car, but look at the price. It's £100,000 almost, and for similar sort of money you can be buying a used AMG GTS. So you know, that's a bit of a toss-up for it, but I think if you can get a used one of these at a good price, I think you'll be very happy. All-wheel drive, I think, probably makes a difference to both value and also driving on it, in terms of road holding and stuff like that. So overall, great car. There's a few updates since the car I've got, and I think a bit of an improvement. The flappy paddles, they look more metallic. Whether they are or not, I'm not 100% sure. This one also has got other things that I don't have on my car. So it's got the fully adjustable seats, which I think is actually a must. Panoramic roof, obviously I don't have that because I have a convertible, but again, I think that is a must in this car. Overall, you know, having done a long trip through France recently in mine,
this works a little bit better. It feels like it's got a bit more space in here. You feel less cramped because the roof goes over behind your head. Obviously it's got a bigger boot space, so you can bring more wine back. Not that that's my only priority. I mean, I think back to my question, should I have bought a 5-litre V8 and a coupe? I think my heart is going with yes. I don't regret what I've got. I don't want to seem ungrateful, but I do love this car. And compared to the 911, it just feels a little bit more luxurious inside. And that's kind of, I don't know, it's a really definable thing by what spec you put in, and the 911's no different. It's one of the criticisms I suppose I've had of Jaguar with the Ftype is that they have kind of gone for the old school BMW technique of talking about everything can be specified if you want it. But this is, you know, it's a good car. I mean, at 90, I can't remember what it was, £95,000 with this spec. It's pretty damn good, and you know, compared to what you would have to pay in a 911, I think I'd rather have this, unless you're buying a special model 911 like a GT3 or GTS or GT3 RS, when I think that's a different ball game. So I've had this car for a couple of hours now, so I've been able to kind of, I suppose, make more of a comparison to what I have now and just kind of assess it overall as a car. So yeah, one of the whole things I want to do is talk about, you know, this should be about lifestyle stuff as well, right? So how do these cars fit into your life? You know, one of the big things with the 3-litre V6 is the size of the boot is, well, ridiculous. Although we managed to make it work on our France trip, which, if not up already, there will be a short video up around that as well. However, this is a proper GT car. You know, it's got a decent sized boot. It just feels a bit more spacious in the cabin because you haven't got that absolute cut-off behind the seats. And it's got the benefit of, you know, how I talked about the 3-litre V6 in the past as well, is it's that kind of Jekyll and Hyde view of it. It can be an absolute animal that makes you just want to go, you know, scream and shout and kind of just get on with it, you know. But actually, if you just want to potter around and go to the shops or whatever it is you need to do, then actually this does it as well. You know, it's really, really versatile, and it's beautiful looking, and it sounds great. It's just, it's a really good car. So that wraps up our drive with the 5-litre V8 Ftype, and you know, as has obviously come across, I'm really surprised at how different it was. What an amazing car. I've always loved the coupe. I think it's a great looking car. You can tell it's the 5-litre V8 because it has the 4 twin exhausts at the back, which I'm sure we've probably had a quick look at. 4 twin exhausts, 2 sets of twins, so 4 exhausts rather than the 2 in the middle. This also has the diffuser pack under the exhaust, which I don't have on my one. Overall, just a stunning, stunning car, an amazing drive as well. Remarkably different. I think the coupe piece helps as well. Definitely gives it a slightly stiffer ride. Overall, thumbs up from us here. Thank you so much for watching Petrolheads London. Keep watching. Remember to thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already.